On August 25th, 2025, we pause once again to honor lives that shape communities, culture, and history across the United States and the United Kingdom. They were educators and athletes, politicians and writers, scientists and visionaries. Some built institutions, others built stories, and all, in their own ways, built legacies that endure beyond their years. Their contributions touched classrooms, legislatures, ballfields, and hearts. Today, we remember them, not merely for what they achieved, but for the humanity that guided every step of their journey. For Ole Aarsvold, public service was an extension of his roots. Grounded in family, faith, and the land, a lifelong North Dakotan, he served nearly 2 decades in the North Dakota House of Representatives, 1989 to 2008, representing his community with humility and strength. He fought for education, agriculture, and rural development, causes close to the hearts of those who lived off the soil. Known for his honesty and dedication, Aarsvold embodied the kind of leadership that doesn't seek the spotlight, but earns respect through integrity. In remembering him, we honor the quiet stewards of democracy, those who build bridges between people and purpose. Michael Aiken dedicated his life to the pursuit of knowledge and the advancement of higher education. As Chancellor of the University of Illinois Urbana, Champaign, and Provost at the University of Pennsylvania, Aiken helped shape 2 of America's most respected academic institutions. His work as a sociologist explored the dynamics of power, organizations, and society, offering insights into how institutions evolve and how leadership can inspire progress. To colleagues, Aiken was a visionary. To students, a mentor. His legacy lives on in the halls of learning, where curiosity continues to thrive because of the foundations he helped build. For Bill Christine, sports were never just statistics. They were stories. A journalist whose words graced the pages of America's great newspapers, Christine chronicled the drama, triumph, and heartbreak of the games we love. His coverage captured the humanity behind the athletes, the struggles, the grit, and the fleeting magic of victory. Through decades of writing, he became a trusted voice in American sports journalism, preserving moments that might otherwise fade into the noise of time. In Christine's words, the cheers of the crowd still echo. A century of life, a lifetime of service. William I, Donner Meyer Sr. served in the Kentucky House of Representatives from 1970 to 1994, spanning nearly a quarter of the state's modern history. Known for his bipartisan spirit and attention to the needs of working families, he earned the trust of his constituents again and again. Donner Meyer Centenarian Milestone stands as a testament not just to longevity, but to purpose, a life spent lifting others through the work of governance and the steady heart of civic duty. In the pages of young adult fiction, Diane Ho found her voice, and in doing so, gave one to millions of readers. Her novels, including the Nightmare Hall series, captivated teens with suspenseful storytelling that balanced fear with empathy. Ho was among the defining authors of YA horror and mystery in the 1980s and 1990s, a pioneer in a genre that empowered young readers to explore fear, courage, and identity. Her passing marks the end of an era for fans who grew up under the spell of her words, stories that still whisper in the minds of dreamers everywhere. Before the bright lights of professional sports, there was Alan Horniak, a college basketball star who defined excellence for the Ohio State Buckeyes in the early 1970s. Known for his remarkable scoring ability and fierce competitiveness, Horniak left an indelible mark on Buckeye basketball history. Though his career didn't follow the NBA spotlight, his impact on the sport and on those who played beside him was profound. He represented the golden age of college athletics. Heart before fame, passion before glory. Paula Julander devoted her life to helping others, first as a nurse, then as a member of the Utah Senate, 1999 to 2005. Her work focused on healthcare, mental health, and public safety, issues that reflected her deep empathy and understanding of human need. Julander's compassion guided her leadership, making her a respected and beloved figure in state politics. Her legacy is one of care, the kind that heals not only the body, but the community. Few people have shaped both sports and charity the way Jim Murray did. As general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, 1973 to 1982, he helped guide the team through pivotal years in its history. But it was his work beyond the field, as co-founder of the Ronald McDonald House Charities, that defined his legacy. What began as an effort to help families of sick children has grown into a global network of compassion and hope. Murray's life stands as proof that leadership isn't only measured by wins, but by how much good it brings to others. From a Virginian to Columbia Pictures, Frank Price was a giant of entertainment, a storyteller and strategist whose instincts shaped Hollywood's golden decades. As president of Universal Television and later chairman of Columbia Pictures, he helped bring to life some of the industry's most enduring works, blending artistry with business in a way few could. Behind the titles and accolades was a man who believed in the power of narrative, who saw stories as the soul of humanity. Price's work continues to ripple across generations, inspiring creators who still chase the magic he once helped define. Baseball was in Mike White's blood, the son of former MLB pitcher JoJo White. He carried on the family legacy with the Houston Colt .45s, later known as the Astros. Known for his athleticism and unshakable team spirit, White played the game with a quiet confidence and deep love for baseball's traditions. He represented the timeless spirit of America's pastime, a reminder that every inning, every swing, every moment under the lights tells a story worth remembering. In the vast and complex realm of neuroscience, Peter C. Whybrow was a voice of clarity and compassion. A psychiatrist and author, his work explored the intersection of biology, behavior, and society, asking how the modern world affects our mental well-being. His influential books, including The Well-Tuned Brain, examined the psychological costs of modern life and offered paths toward balance and humanity. Wybrow's passing marks the loss of a mind deeply attuned to the struggles of our age and a heart devoted to healing them. Robert Cook was more than a veterinarian. He was a visionary in animal welfare and equine science. His research into horse anatomy and his invention of the bitless bridle transformed the way humans care for and communicate with horses, a lifelong advocate for humane treatment. Cook's work redefined standards in veterinary medicine and animal ethics worldwide. To horse lovers, he was a pioneer. To science, a mind of precision and compassion. In the years following World War II, Ron Harbison helped reignite Britain's love for football. Playing for clubs like Lincoln City, Darlington, and Wrexham, he brought skill and sportsmanship to every match. He represented a generation of players who played not for fame, but for pride, the pride of community and team. From Stoke City to the Southern California Lasers in Chester, Paul Johnson's career reflected football's global reach. Known for his adaptability and resilience, Johnson's journey through the English leagues and across the Atlantic embodied the love of the game that knows no borders. A legend of the court, Angela Mortimer rose to become one of Britain's greatest tennis players. Winner of Wimbledon in 1961, the French Open, and the Australian Championships, she stood among the best of her era, admired not only for her talent, but for her grace and determination. Her career inspired generations of athletes, proving that perseverance and elegance can coexist in perfect harmony. Even as she battled cancer in her later years, Mortimer's courage reflected the same strength that made her a champion. Few people understood the history of letters, quite literally, as deeply as James Moseley. As librarian of the Street Bride Printing Library in London and one of the world's foremost authorities on type design, Moseley preserved centuries of print history. His scholarship bridged craft and culture, reminding us that typography isn't just art, it's civilization rendered in ink and paper. Through his research, lectures, and writings, Moseley ensured that the story of the printed word would never fade. From politicians and athletes to authors, scientists, and artists, the men and women of August 25th, 2025 shared a common thread, a devotion to bettering the world around them. Each contributed in their own way, shaping knowledge, nurturing creativity, serving their people, or simply sharing their gifts. Their legacies remind us that greatness often lies not in fame, but in the lasting impact of purpose, kindness, and passion. May they rest in peace, and may their stories continue to guide and inspire generations to come.